A vote for the barrier is a vote for freedom.
Are we back? Hello? Is anyone still here? Oh, for God's sake. Hello, chat. Welcome back, everyone. All one concurrent viewers we have. Yeah, my power just went out, just then. Instantly plunged into darkness. 8:30 stream. No, I was just streaming. My power went out, and I came back. I am not starting now. This is very strange. I've never tried restarting the stream before. I'm not sure what happens. Or if this works at all. I probably have to, like, re-ping the server to get people to come back. I don't know. I mean, we've been going for a while. Like, I wouldn't bother restarting it, except that we were right in the middle of a scene there, so... I want to finish that. Okay, maybe I'll stick the link just in Discord without pinging everyone again. Maybe that'll work. If anyone cares, they'll be paying attention. The process to getting a link to your own stream is, like, weirdly convoluted, by the way. You have to go into YouTube Studio and, like, look up the VOD as it's being created. There's a bit of a windstorm here, so that's probably what did the power outage. Okay. Hopefully a few new people trickle in here. Andrew, are you aware? What am I aware of? I don't know. Okay, let's just resume here. Not make too much of a big deal. Do I remember you? Probably not. If you, honestly, I'll be really, if you don't post on my Discord server like once every 2 days at least, I probably forget who you are over time. That's just the way it is. Alright, yeah, we had the folding tables and the lapel mic. Despite the fact that wireless microphones, all right. Hiya, says Sans. Yeah, we have to point out that Sans is sitting with eerie stillness, because he's in fact a cardboard cutout. Oh, the Gaster GIF is still up, I'm sorry. There we go. Stream is properly back online now. So yeah, so now Asgore tries to, like, make conversation with this pre-recorded Sans. He jumped, but recovered quickly. Asgore still thinks his name is Sam's.
You are rather early, are you not?
Sans just starts to, do you want to have a bad time? The weirdest shit. Yeah, the cutout just says various lines from Undertale. Okay, that's a good idea. I'm gonna open the Undertale dialogue dump and just copy paste. Yeah. Here we go. I can just select all of Sans' dialogue here. Sans. Where is he? Sans. You're right. Yeah, I like if it's like weirdly out of context. Don't worry, I'll give you a full refund. There we go. This is like Spamton Sans, a truly cursed Okay, that does not copy paste well at all. Sanston. Okay, but Comic Sans. $2 from LG Satchel, who is back, I see. We lost half the people watching because of that. Yep, welcome to streaming. At the slightest inconvenience, everyone will just leave. That's how it works. And I know that because I operate the same way. If I get, like, I don't know, if I have to get up and take a piss, I'll just get back and decide, oh, I didn't want to watch this anymore, and I'll do something else. That's all it takes. It really is. This is such a weird, like, immediately a high concept scene again. Everything is so high concept. I keep saying shuffled for Asgore. I'm not sure what the appeal is of him shuffling. The fic is officially half as long as Umris. I think it'll be all the way as long by the time we get there. Umris is a measurement. By the end of the fic, Spamton's nose is going to be 6.9 Umrises long. Asgore should... Yeah, he should start venting his frustrations about Toriel. Okay, maybe this is the scene where I was picturing just like an incredibly painful scene where Asgore's trying to like ask about the you know, quote unquote extent of Toriel and Sans' relationship. And he's like getting more and more flustered, but he can't really back out because he's already sort of overstepped the boundaries. But the whole time he's just talking to a cardboard cutout. It's funnier even this way. The underground's basically an uneasy anarchy now. What? By the way, do you think that Sans' last name in this should canonically be Undertale? Like, if his full name comes up as part of his, like, ballot or something, will it just be Sans Undertale? Sans Deltarune, yeah, but it's funnier if he's Undertale, regardless. Like, Mayor Holiday just calls him Undertale, and no one knows what she's talking about until she's forced to explain it. Because she refers to everyone by their last name. Oh, make his last name Universe to make the Steven after not surviving canon? Maybe not quite that. When Halloween starts talking about traffic funding, make Sans talk about blue stop signs. Yeah, that'll be good. Use Umris as a measurement in one description, but only once, and don't explain it. Yeah, I think that would be the play. Although I've already explained in a footnote that Umris is German for outline.
How has this whole campaigning thing been treating you? I know for myself it has been quite an adjustment.
Hello, I wasn't in the first stream. Can anyone give a simple explanation of the story? Well, basically, Asgore gets a phone call from a mysterious entity telling him that if he becomes mayor of Hometown, he can avoid paying rent by designating his shop as a heritage property and paying himself with tax dollars to be its caretaker. So then Asgore runs for mayor against Mayor Holiday, which pisses off Toriel so much that she, on the spot, cajoles Sans into also running for mayor to piss Asgore off. And now Sans doesn't even want to win, but he's going along with it. And Asgore has been instructed by the man on the phone to summon Spamton from the Dark World to be his campaign manager. And hijinks have ensued. Make a Nicolas Cage reference. Like what? Not the bees. Perfect. You got most of it. Good. Pawn Air. I've only know it from Homestuck references. He holds a bunny rabbit stuffy or something. Okay, we need a new, slightly not quite right response from the dialogue dump here. This is a pre-recorded Sans, by the way, to John Murphy, who just joined chat. Asgore is talking with a cardboard cutout who has pre-recorded lines of dialogue from Undertale. Okay, this one's good. Maybe it's a little strange, but sometimes... God knows what fucking artificial intelligence is running this. I can just type this out. In Comic Sans. What else? Okay, yeah, we can just use this whole conversation. Perfect. Yeah, this is perfect, because it transitions to sort of indirectly talking about Toriel. And then Asgore can make it really awkward. It's have someone call you out, not to. Here comes the grub when Asgore came in. Yeah, like an alternate universe where the dialogue's just set to savage. You'd be dead where you stand. It gets like incredibly menacing, and then actual Sans just walks in and like he's like, "Hey, sorry about that. I was trying a little experiment." Okay. Chat GPT powered Sans. Yeah, Sans has like despite being too lazy to run for mayor himself, has rigged some sort of bodged up text-to-speech chat GPT interface to automatically communicate with people via pre-recorded Undertale dialogue. Maybe a certain relative made it for him. I wonder. Make sure to brush your teeth before crossing the street, Frisk. It'll just get more and more obvious that it's Undertale dialogue. Is that a line from Undertale? Does Sans ever call Frisk by name? I can't remember that line. Hey Chris, it's Toriel. I just baked 1,000,000 pies. He texted it to you post-pacifist. Ah, okay. Oh, I see. He's role-playing as Toriel. Yeah. That's it. Okay, Asgore, he responds. No, Sans isn't calling Asgore lazy, it's talking about himself. Like, Asgore thinks that Sans is saying, it's nice that Toriel actually made me get off my ass for once. That's how Asgore's interpreting this, despite it being AI generated. one piece of dialogue from a different NPC. That's kind of funny. So Asgore should start like actually relating to this. Like, this is the most meaningful conversation he's ever had with Sans. He has to launch into some, like, heartfelt anecdote about how he once overcame his own laziness because of Toriel's guidance. One random snippet of entry 17. Yeah. Okay, so what... Asgore, maybe he became police chief because Toriel motivated him. He was originally just like a gardener, didn't have any direction. Then after he met Toriel, maybe she somehow inspired him to pursue being the chief of police. That would work. Yeah, the community loved him when he was the police chief. Until something happened. Okay. I'm thinking about how to emulate, like, old man anecdote here. Rudy tells a similar story about, you know, like, meeting Mayor Holiday in college. Well, yeah, back in college. Let's go with that. Wouldn't it be... I think Asgore should have been pursuing an environmental science degree, referencing everyone's favorite guy, Robert Foxington. Can we take this to a dark direction if we haven't already? That's the plan. It's a slow burn, though, as of this stream. By which I mean every scene takes an hour to write. He only became chief of police because she told him to, because she was trying to get back at different acts, like when she was with Sans and the mayor. No, I don't think... That's a bit too cynical. Toby could have improved pollution instead of making Undertale. What a hack, says chat. Yes, I agree. Is this capitalized? I don't know. Then he trails off because he realizes what he's saying. I'm gonna uncapitalize that. It looks wrong. And then Sans responds with more AI-generated text. Sans says, someone out there really cares about you, kid. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Like, Asgore thinks this is like Sans egging him on to like, no, let's talk about Toriel. Let's get like real with this. But it's kind of weird that he called me kid, right? Let's look at the actual quote. I'm getting conflicting reports of the quote. Someone out there. When does he say that? Is it on a phone call? Cares about. Because someone really cares about you. Oh. Okay, so that's not the quote. Take care of yourself, kid, because someone really cares about you. I don't know if that's actually as good, but it's only funny if it's Undertale dialogue. Maybe we can do better. Here comes the grub. Toriel. Okay, but it's about Toriel. Yeah, I remembered it wrong too. It's hard to keep the exact quote straight. It's like how Darth Vader never says, "Luke, I am your father." It's something else. Here we go. That's the one. Someone who sincerely likes bad jokes has an integrity you can't say no to. Yeah, okay, so Asgore's gonna feel comfortable, and then he makes it weird now. Here comes the grub. Why is that line so funny? Here comes the grub Sans, talking to himself about himself. What does that mean? This conversation really has been insightful. Here comes the grub. I'm cracking up with this shit. Here comes the grub. Like it the AI fucks up and just starts repeating "Here comes the grub" until Sans just walks in the door and points out the hidden cameras or something. 29 hot dogs. There's too many options. Shit. I gotta like focus here. There's too many funny options. I think Asgore should get philosophical about how, for however well he and Toriel got along, he could never match her sense of humor. So he like throws Sans a bone, so to speak. He's trying to like reach out, like he's presenting an olive branch to Sans here.
I will throw a bone to you.
Here comes the grub. Stop saying it. I'm laughing. I can't write up. I'm laughing at the grub. Have you ever heard of a talking flower? That could actually pass as conversation with Asgore. He'd be like, no. That sounds campaign slogan. Here comes the grub. Stop it. Holy shit. Okay, I have to stop looking at chat until I write this line. Okay. Okay. Arena just says Asgore being cucked by Sans is very funny. And while you're not wrong, it's I'm sort of surprised that you would say that. There we go. Asgore's like bringing himself to tears here. Canadian humor. Yep, that's how it's spelled. The more for me. Oh, that's fucking savage. That's fucking evil. Where is that? More for me? Oh, here comes the crop. So you know all about it. I like more for me is so good. You don't know what's happening, but I'm ready to jump in. He finds that the thing is pre-recorded because Papyrus talks to Sans while he's making the recording. I like that, except for one detail, which is that I'd have to canonize whether or not Papyrus is in fact in Deltarune. And it's way funnier to me if that's pointlessly ambiguous. How many people have the dock? It's 94 people in the dock currently. It doesn't seem to be causing any problems, so I guess it's fine. Yeah, it could be Prunzel or something. Exactly, Chad. It could be anything. There's infinite potential as long as we don't confirm that Papyrus is here. Oh wait, Papyrus doesn't need to be canon because these are from Undertale. You're right. Let's soldier onward here. Okay. Asgore bites his tongue, unsure how to respond to that. Present tense again. God damn it. He busied himself for a time setting up his poster board. Unable to... Yeah, this is where Asgore has to, like, he puts his foot in his mouth and makes it weird. Just joined. When's the next read-through? We could do one after this bit dies. I think that would be a good time for a read-through, and then I can end... That'll probably be the end of the stream, because this has been pretty long so far. You killed some people on purpose, didn't you, Line? Oh my god, that would be fucking nuts. You're really kind of a freak, huh? There's so many savage things that Sans says. It's like too easy. Just that you get the whole library of Sans' dialogue to work with. It's too powerful. It's like hooking up your fic to a nuclear reactor. Add the 29 hot dogs line. Like, that one's great. I love that. Sans just like, you betcha. How's about it, maybe? It's like, what's it to ya? Oh. Or is it funnier if there's... I use a longer quote that's more obviously from the game. I'll look around a bit more. You're right, that's obvious. But since you know, you can use it for free. I'm not sure that works. Weird, huh? That would be pretty funny, actually. What if he just says thanks? Okay. I'll be frank with you. Music? Continue. There we go. What you need is the secret code word. Yeah. Here's your hot dog, here's your hot dog, here's your hot dog. You really like hot animals, don't you? Okay, that's gotta go in somewhere. Okay, somewhere. Do I have an AO3 account? I do. I'm not sure if I'll publish it on that account, though. Okay, these are all just about half of Sans' dialogue is about fucking hot dogs. Oh, and this is all his like genocide run monologue. Capiche. Hell if I know. I think I like just like thanks so far. That was the funniest one. But there was a couple other funny ones that I scrolled past. I'm gonna keep having my turn until you give up. That's fucking horrifying. You like hot animals? That's good. Oh, weird, huh? That was the one I liked. That was the one.
Weird, huh?
He's just like putting his foot further and further into his mouth. His throat begins to tighten with the mounting of horror at the words coming out of his mouth. And now Sans just replies, "It's not gonna be your turn ever." Oh, that's fucking bad. So Sans has to like thicken the innuendo here somehow by talking about hot dogs. Let's see if there's anything fucking stinky.
Well, that's pretty sad.
You weren't anywhere near as bad as you could be. No, I can't use a whipped cream delivery man line because the bit here is that all these lines are pre-recorded from Undertale. Diegetically. I'm practically a hot dog tycoon now. Oh my god, okay, that one's... It's time for my special attack. It just says on the legendary fart master. No, I think Sans has to say something that makes Asgore think that like he's picking up what he's laying down, and that it's too late to back out of the topic. He has to think that Sans is like, oh, I know what you mean. There's gotta be something good. But look how many fucking lines there are. God, there's a lot of text in this game. Oh, what if he launches into the whole speech about like, just because you can, you have to. The most determined thing you can do now is give up. Like he just goes into the entire like post boss fight speech, but it's directed toward Asgore still like simping after Toriel. That's really childish. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's really childish. That's really childish. Okay, that's good. Okay. I want to make sure I get the quote exactly right here. Whoever said Sans wouldn't use ellipses in the last stream, by the way, was a filthy liar. Toby Fox fucking loves ellipses. He can't get enough of ellipses. Sans says, beside, it's rude to talk about people who are listening, right? That's from the blog, isn't it? I don't know if that counts as from Undertale. Cardboard Sans is savage. Yes, it truly. Asgore's just getting roasted here by like AI Sans. You blew it, Asgore! You blew it! Asgore has once again become hopelessly trapped in the machinations of his own choices. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna quote Courier New straight up. I'm just gonna steal it from Courier New. All he could hope for now was that the crowd would start filing in. Hey, lighten up, bucko. Oh yeah, Sans like he bails him out. He bails him out. I love this bit actually. I think it may keep going on for like an obnoxiously long time, but that's okay. I really like the bit. What's the holdup? Look, there's nothing to be. Does he say that? What's the holdup? That doesn't look very activated. Oh, that's if you talk to him again when he's when you first meet him. Yeah, that's perfect actually. That's the perfect line. I love that. Comic Sans. It's fucking white. And now he starts talking about it being like a hot dog tycoon or something, and he's just gonna keep having his turn. He just goes full on savage. Oh yeah, I think we can have like a long sans monologue now. To be frank with you, it's time you learned the truth. Fucking Frank. Give me Frank. I'll be frank with you. He's going to be a man named Frank. It's in quotes for some reason. I want Garmin again. Comic Sans. This is a lot of metadata shuffling around here. Why does Frank in quotes? Why is it like that? Oh no, because it's Frankfurter. It's a pun. Okay, I get it now. Never mind. It's time you learned the truth. It's time to begin your judgment. That's like, oh god. This is part of the, like, high love neutral route judgment, huh? It's time you learned the truth. Okay. No, not capitalized. Not bold. What truth? Asgore pressed. Voice growing darker despite himself. Just starts talking about he's the legendary fart master and shit. No, I want to use the line about being a hot dog tycoon. What's the word count so far? Probably about 5,000 now. If I had to guess. We got 4,700. How is there so few mentions of hot dogs? What? Does he just call them dogs and apostrophe dogs all the rest of the time? I'm practically a hot dog tycoon now. That's fucking awful. I say, adding it to the fic. I'm practically an opioid tycoon. Oh, the playlist finally ended. Let's go back. One day I'm gonna update the playlist. One day. But again, last time I did that, it started getting copyright strikes out of nowhere, so... that's the danger you face. Let's go to your turn. I've decided it's not going to be your turn ever. I'm just going to keep having my turn until you give up. That's fucking so intense. Yeah, Asgore flips the table, and then the billboard starts going into the lines about, like, here comes the grub. and like brush your teeth before you cross the street, Frisk. And then Sans walks in and beholds this scene of degeneracy. Fuck. So many hard returns for the text boxes. What do you two think? This is the funniest thing you've heard in weeks. I'm so glad. Unless that's another Sans quote that you wanted me to include and not a compliment. This one final punchline. I know how to do it. He drops the "take it from me, kid. Someday you've got to learn when to quit." He keeps calling him kid too for no reason. Like just to be a dick. The scene is so funny, it's stupid. Not so stupid it's funny. I think that also applies. Then Asgore fucking goes ballistic here. Did Asgore actually go for a dig here? How should Asgore like actually insult Sans? Call him like a layabout? A good for nothing? Asgore should just go right... No, he's gonna flip the table after this. No, not Numbskull. This isn't Sans roasting Sans. This is Asgore trying to legitimately hurt Sans' feelings by questioning his role within society and his validity as a potential romantic interest for Toriel. Asgore wouldn't say anything when angry? We've never seen Asgore angry, though. How do we know that? Hello, Gordon. What is LG Satchel's idea? Wait, Toriel asks what pie flavor he wants, interrupting Sans. And that's how he finds out. No, these are from Undertale, though. That's the thing. That's the thing. These lines are all from Undertale. That we can't violate that premise. Otherwise the bit collapses. Alright, I'll just wing this. If the wait. Hello, Gordon. What does that mean? I'm picturing like Gabriel and Ultra Kill just going, "You insignificant fuck!" and then exploding. Yes, I know it's a Half-Life reference. I just don't know what it means beyond that. Asgore says Sans will never understand what makes a flower value in each individual petal. Oh, so be like come up with like a nice guy comeback? Okay. He should just swear. You should... I have a very specific idea, actually, of what the first swear word in the fic should be. Maybe this is where, Asgore brings up that he knows that Sans is, he's on the sauce. Like, Sans is an opium addict in this canon, and we just drop that. There we go. Asgore reveals that he has dirt on Sans the whole time. He knows that he's been cooking the opium. I guess this is canon now. Asgore thinks he's a dopehead. Oh, so he misinterpreted it? Make Chris Jesse. Sans would smoke, not take pills. Who knows? Maybe we can rework that line if you don't like it. Here we go. Here comes the grub. Here comes the grub. Uh, There we go. He heard the tendons in his neck creak as he turned to face the skeleton in total confusion. Here comes the grub. The AI starts fucking up here. Well, I want that line a bit. Oh wait, no, this is the calls. This is a different section of the website. Message. Oh, here they are. Make sure to brush your teeth. Just gonna slap this in here. There we go. And then Sans walks in. Oh, the 29 hot dogs. All right, let's find the hot dogs. Except it's not on this page, it's somewhere else. 29 hot dogs, come on. Oh, it's he writes it out. As much as I like putting hot dogs on your head, I don't think it's too long to fit in, because this is out of context, and so I'll just do this. At this moment. Okay. Okay, the rest of this bullshit will occur on a following stream. I'm done for today. That was a fucking stupidly long bit. I'm gonna give it a read through though before we go. What do you two think? Just randomly. Actually no, I'm gonna read it out. I'm gonna leave out the what do you two think. Read it through. Alright, we're up to fucking 17 pages. Holy shit. Final word count. We have almost 5,000. Alright, once again, let me pour some more tea for this. Inverted Fate is getting nervous, yeah. How long is Inverted Fate? Is that one infamous for being super long? Because I know Dork does it, but I haven't heard about its sheer length. I guess it's been going for like 20 years or something at this point, so I'm assuming it's pretty long. So much characterization to Sans and Asgore without Sans actually being in the scene. That's good. Yeah, it started in 2016 and it's still going. It's probably kind of long by now, eh? Yeah. Anyway. ELEKTIONTRÜCKUNG. A Deltarune fanfiction by Andrew Cunningham in Twitch chat. Hometown 2016. 1 week until the municipal election. A large monster carrying a poster board elbows his way through the doors of City Hall. The desk clerk lifts a quizzical finger in response. The intruder offers a helpless smile as he stumbles past in a rush, poster board banging off a framed photo of the town hanging on a nearby wall. He continued on down the dimly lit hallways, eyes fixed on the seldom-used door to the weird little basement meeting room at the far end. The church basement musk of liminal multipurpose rooms grows stronger with each step. As he pushes open the door, a wave of muttering breaks the silence. The room is filled with a smattering of hometown's adult residents, as well as any children unfortunate enough to have been dragged along. At the front of the space, sitting behind a flimsy folding table, was Mayor Holiday. Mayor Halloween Holiday, to be very, very specific. I assure you that I share the utmost concern about the increase in road traffic in our town, Mrs. Boom, she was saying. As a mother and fellow resident, I see it as a top priority to finally install traffic lights as soon as the funding becomes... Her eyes dart to the interloper in the back. Everyone else's follow.
Greets Asgore. Howdy, everyone. Pardon my interruption. I hope I'm not late.
The conference is almost over, Mr. Dreamer, Holiday says icily.
Well, yes, I can see how that might be an issue, but...
He stammers.
But I phoned last night and was assured that the mayoral conference would continue until each candidate had said their piece.
Continued silence in reply.
He
continued. He turned his poster board forward to face the crowd.
I've decided to run for mayor.
Asgore cracked open his fridge, wincing as the light lanced into the gloomy upstairs room. 1 pickle jar, 0 pickles. He shut the door with a sigh. This would be the 3rd time this week that the convenience store janitor, asking that convenience store janitor for expired goods. How much longer could he keep this up? He tramped downstairs to his shop front, kept spotlessly tidy in spite of its near-complete lack of use. His eyes scanned over his sumptuous display of white egret orchids, the only thing he had to spare. With only a moment of guilty hesitation, he crammed 3 into his mouth. Despite himself, he had to admit the taste was not altogether bad. As his thoughts wandered, a sudden spike of noise from behind him made him jump. His phone. It was ringing. Composing himself, he raised an eyebrow in puzzlement. A call at this hour? Had Alphys' washing machine exploded again, or was it something about Rudy? He grimaced and picked up the receiver. As it turned out, it was neither of those things. It was a voice he had never heard before. The only sound in the City Hall meeting room was Terry idly sucking back a Slurpee, but in a very cool and charismatic way. Asgore saw no obvious resolution to the stalemate, and simply began elbowing himself to the front of the crowd, muttering apologies under his breath. He finally reached the stage, and seeing no second table, pulled a folding chair from the back wall and sat with the poster board in his lap. The entire board was taken up by a picture of his smiling face and a smattering of poorly cut out JPEGs of flowers. The flowers are also smiling. He beamed with concussed affability.
I hope everyone is having a good time. Halloween is always such an eloquent speaker.
From the side of the crowd, something caught his eye. Toriel was seated in the front row, glittering at him with unwavering disappointment. The convenience store janitor was inexplicably seated next to her, resting his hand on her thigh. Asgore fought back the urge to retch and soldiered on.
It just seems, well, it seems to me that Mayor Holiday has been running for a very long time, and maybe hometown is due for some fresh ideas. Mayor Holiday has worked so hard for our community, don't you think she deserves a break? Out with the old and in with the new, as they say.
His smile quickly withered on the vine as silence once again greeted his speech. You forgot the sans thigh bit? Yeah, I do every time. It's fun every time. Just because it's so early on and comes out of nowhere.
So, if I were to be elected mayor, what would you all like me to do? I have some ideas myself, of course, but I thought it might be...
Mr. Dreamer, Mayor Holiday cut in like an extremely sharp jello knife. What plans do you have to confront the opioid crisis facing our community?
The opioid crisis,
echoed Asgore numbly.
Well, let's see. It is my informed opinion as a,
He reflexively winced.
former police chief, that opium is very harmful to the health. As mayor, I assure you that I would not consume any opium. I suppose I could also cut back on the number of poppies I grew in the flower shop.
Suddenly, a creaking noise from his left. Toriel stood up from her chair. Asgore, what are you doing? Before he could formulate a response, his ears caught a half-whispered remark from the janitor to her side.
Apparently not opium, Tori.
Toriel instantly, immediately, without the barest shadow of lead-up or escalation, began screeching with laughter. After an uncomfortable duration, a few members of the crowd began to sheepishly join in, at first out of sheer discomfort, then in response to how many other people were laughing, and finally out of some perverse tide of anti-humor that built from the whole situation. I'm gonna get rid of this "and," it's been pissing me off. A booming voice rose over the din from Harold, who was Caddy and Caddy's dad for any unaware readers.
Hey Sams, are you running for mayor now too?
In the crowd's delirious state, this attempt at humor somehow made the laughter louder, or maybe it was just that he somehow pronounced Sans' name as Sams. The only one who wasn't laughing, Asgore noticed, with horror, was Toriel. An expression he had never seen before had crawled over her usually kindly features. A terrifying expression. Yes, Sans would also like to announce his candidacy for mayor. Toriel spoke over the din, her words somehow cutting through the ambient noise and bringing the room to a hush. Sans glanced up at her. She glanced down. His expression did not change. Her expression did not change, affirmatively. Sans shrugged and stood up.
Yep, okay, I'm running for mayor now. Sounds good.
The crowd erupts in applause, even for monster kids somehow, through an ingenious and determined technique inexpressible through text. Nobody was quite sure why. Oh, Veritas is in chat. Cool. Halloween, with measured patience, rested a frontal appendage on her microphone, the resultant scratch of static drawing back the crowd's attention. This is certainly an unexpected direction for this conference, she said dryly. While it is still my firm belief that running unopposed as usual would provide the greatest measure of stability to this community, I admit that it might be a nice change of pace to have our municipal election reduced to a circus this year.
A circus sounds good to me, see? Everyone knows I'm already the biggest clown in town.
Clown around town, by popular demand.
I'm the biggest clown around town.
A chuckle from the crowd. Mayor Holiday glared. Asgore elected to simply stare into the mid-distance and hope that everyone had forgotten about his presence. On second thought, he realized that probably wasn't a good attitude in this context. We're gonna get to the new stuff eventually.
A campaign manager.
Asgore repeated hesitantly into his phone receiver. A pause.
No, you are right. The poster board was not as big of a hit as I had hoped.
A pause.
Yes, and the kerfuffle about the opioids.
A pause.
Yes, I see your point now. A manager may be of some help, but I'm afraid to say my funds are somewhat limited as of late.
A pause.
Alternative payment. I suppose that would do. How can I meet this fellow?
An unusually long pause. Asgore's eyebrows, slowly but adeptly, performed a festive jig. At length, he responded.
You are quite sure about this?
But the line was already dead. Sip. Yeah, the stream viewership's recovered pretty well after the power outage. Sans leaned against the store countertop, leafing through a car magazine disguised as a quantum physics textbook. From the entrance, a bell rang, a bell that happened to sound identical to the one from the bridge flower puzzle in the popular independent role-playing game Undertale. He swept his eyes upward, despite not having eyes, only to see the back half of Asgore Dreamer's body disappearing down the aisle at a brisk power walk. He considered saying hi, but decided against it. After a few minutes of muffled rummaging and the occasional audible Asgore reappeared from around the corner, obviously trying to pretend he had only just noticed Sans' presence.
Beautiful night, is it not, Sams? It's, not too dark, I guess, yeah?
Asgore smiled, and continued to smile. Seemingly not knowing what else to do, he abruptly pushed a handful of objects onto the counter. Sans looked them over. A single egg, and what appeared to be a sacrificial dagger.
Huh, good choice. The sacrificial daggers are going at half price today.
Asgore blushed.
Actually, about the price,
Hey, don't sweat it, big guy. I'll put it on my tab.
on your, yes, very good then.
Asgore stammered. The conversatio was interrupted by the sound of a door slamming open in the back of the store. An orange blur sprinted out behind Asgore and crashed through the exit doors, belt tourniquet still visibly affixed to his arm.
Was that junkie just shooting up in your bathroom?
Asgore asked at length.
Huh, weird. I didn't know we had a bathroom. Yes, but...
I don't know, man, Sans winked. Sounds like a problem for the store manager. Okay, good progress. Toriel got up from her beloved living room chair, gently placing her copy of Power Broker by Robert Caro face down on her chairside table to hold her spot. She walked to the nearby fridge, and after glancing surreptitiously to either side, withdrew a can of whipped cream. She would, of course, be mortified if anyone saw her indulging behavior like this, but Chris seldom came downstairs after dark, and Sans wouldn't be off work until a knock at the door. Toriel's head involuntarily whipped toward the sound, but it was too late. The whipped cream was already in freefall. It splattered against her cheek with a wet pfft. Grabbing a tea towel with a free hand, she scurried toward the door, but in her haste to wipe the confection from her face, tripped on the beloved living room rug and sprawled graciously against the door. I hate the repetition here. There we go, good enough. When her eyes once again focused, they were met with the sight of Sans standing behind her, already having taken his shoes off. In his hand, a tin of whipped cream was poised conspicuously.
Hey, Tori, the manager let me off early tonight.
His eyes dart down toward the cream pie.
I had this whole bit planned, but looks like you've got it covered.
Toriel felt her expression melt into a stunned smile. At this moment, Chris appeared from the dark threshold of the kitchen like a ghost and stood mute, observing the tableau of unadulterated whimsy splayed out over their living room floor. Without comment, they paced toward Sans and gestured toward the whipped cream.
You, gonna eat that? Nope. Cool.
Chris plucked the tin from the skeleton's hand and turned to leave the room, industriously licking out the contents as they went. Still propped against the base of the door, Toriel craned her neck back and impulsively called out. Chris, dear, I think you should stay and talk for a while. I've been meaning to bring this up, but... Chris stopped the retreat, but did not turn around. Toriel saw that it was too late to stop now. Is it alright if Sans is your dad now? Silence. Sans made a desperate stab at de-escalation.
Or, you know, if dad is too much, I could just be the, whipped cream delivery man.
I'm gonna add an extra... There we go. As Toriel began to howl with laughter, Chris finally turned around. They retraced their steps back to the now mortified skeleton, and, with great care, pushed the remaining cream into his face.
Cringe,
Chris said, and walked back upstairs. Everyone's made that mistake before. Oh, I know, yeah. I'm down with the retcons. I've decided just to retcon shit, why not? The music timing. Yeah, we're hitting the emotional peak here. Asgore sat on his bedroom floor, trying to balance an egg on his toaster. The words of the incantation were now coming with greater confidence.
Not a circus clown who's more sick than funny, a lovable salesman who give me free money. You may ask who is next. You may ask who will be. Who will be the secret boss of adventure number 3?
He'd followed every instruction exactly. The circle of papers scrounged from the library recycling bin. The floppy disk loaded into the Samsung smart toaster he received as a wedding gift. The program downloaded from the mysterious website whose URL had been dictated to him letter by letter. The egg, though, he still wasn't quite sure about the egg. Oh well, no going back now. Making sure not to cease his chanting, Asgore raised the curved dagger over the toaster-egg hybrid. He placed the floppy disk into a slot and depressed the lever. Finally, focusing his will to become mayor into the blade, he brought the knife down, piercing the egg, the toaster, and the floppy disk in one powerful motion. For about 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then... Napstablook lay awake in bed, the first rays of morning sun filtering through the curtains and illuminating the stray motes of dust flitting through the air of their room. Their usual routine was to stare at the ceiling, feeling pure, all-consuming apathy for at least 30 minutes before phasing through the sheets and starting the day. This, Napstablook realized, could reasonably be called a waste of time, but to them it felt different. The small moment of total inaction serving as an implicit rebellion against the torrent of responsibilities that characterized their adult life. a span of haphazard meditation by which their mind could prepare itself for the storm to come. For at least these 30 fleeting minutes, they could call themselves well and truly.
Vote Asgore! Vote Asgore!
The noise flooded through the windows, the walls, through the ground itself. The single loudest sound Napstablook had ever heard, despite being the hometown police force's resident siren operator. The fleeting motes of dust became a small downpour, and the ceiling shuddered from the force of the vibration. That made me jump, it working as intended. Bleary-eyed, they drifted to the window and pulled back the drapes. The source of the noise was what appeared to be a decrepit pickup truck being driven through the town streets, its bed taken up by a hastily erected billboard covered in electoral propaganda. An array of speaker cones was bolted to the roof, repeating the same 15 seconds of audio in an endless loop. Hey.
Asgore! For the barrier is a vote!
Sure enough, Napstablook watched as a steady stream of similarly disturbed residents trickled from their homes to observe the ruckus. Harold crawled through the pet flap with his morning coffee and squinted at the van. Braddy jogged down the street in her pajamas, trying to get a better look. QC, the diner owner, appeared from around the corner, dragging a baseball bat behind her. As the crowd grew in density, the van was forced to stop in front of Napstablook's house. Through the windshield, they could make out a pale mass sitting behind the wheel, initially seeming to be Asgore, but that impression was quickly shattered when the figure turned its head forward and revealed a foot-long nose.
What's that gosh darn racket?
Bellowed Harold, advancing toward the truck. QC approached from the opposite side, cutting off its escape routes. The mysterious driver begins to visible panic. The mysterious driver begins to visibly panic and shifts gears several times between drive and reverse for seemingly no reason. Chat asks, is there context behind the Vote Asgore sound effect, or was it just made in preparation once I had the prompt? It's a reference to a video from a channel called DNSL. I'll just play the original clip so you know what I mean. At this point, why not?
A vote for walls is a vote for freedom. Vote Daniel. Vote Daniels. Daniels.
His is better than mine. I tried to recreate it, but his is better. So I made that before the stream, and then later integrated it into this sort of new slogan for Asgore by chat request. What did you miss since last stream? The entire stream. We're doing a read-through now, and so we're going to go through basically just the parts that we've written in the stream right now, so you're in luck if you want to know.
Turn off that bloody noise, meow.
A frogget croaks from the sidelines, jumping onto the vehicle's hood and visibly denting it. QC hits a taillight with her bat. Suddenly, the truck's tires squeal and it attempts a desperate U-turn, only to be cut off by a police car bursting through the back wall of Sans' convenience store, showering the crowd in rubble and frozen pizzas. Within a split second, Undine has crawled from the wreckage. A moment later, Mayor Holiday emerges gracefully behind her.
Arr, drop your weapons now!
Undine screams, somehow overpowering the truck's speaker system. QC sheepishly drops her baseball bat.
Not you! Arr, pick that back up!
The truck driver whips her head toward the new threat. Or not her head. The truck's driver whips their head toward the new threat, only to accidentally pierce their 14-inch nose through the window. After spending several seconds extracting it and loudly grunting in pain, they slowly crank the window down. What seems to be the... No problem here, officer. Is this a presidential campaign? Or sorry. This is a presidential campaign. Napstablook, who had merely been observing from their half-draped window this whole time, realized that they should probably go help since they were a police officer. Oh, they sighed and drifted through the wall, hoping everyone would still recognize them without their cap, which was inconveniently on the far side of the room and slightly too much of a bother to go and fetch first. They drifted through the truck's door behind the driver's back, and now observed and now observed the entity clearly for the first time. It appeared to be a middle-aged human wearing a frayed black suit, with all the visible skin caked in white makeup. Napstablook momentarily second-guessed the human part when taking into account the driver's 40-centimeter armor-piercing nose, but quickly stifled the thought for fear that it was somehow culturally insensitive.
Excuse me, sir. I think you should maybe turn the volume down.
The driver loosed a guttural scream and swung toward the ghost that was suddenly speaking over his shoulder, nose swishing harmlessly through Napstablook's ectoplasm. "Spirits from beyond the grave!" Napstablook suddenly found himself outside the truck again, as the driver gunned the engine and reversed into Harold's mailbox. The truck caught briefly on the post, but the driver scurried out the back with inhuman speed and devoured the mailbox whole to clear the path, before continuing his vehicular retreat in reverse, Undyne sprinting close behind. Faintly, Napstablook heard a "God damn, which animal says oink, time to skedaddle, this popsicle stand," echo over the screech of burning rubber. As the commotion faded into the distance and the crowd was left standing in catatonic silence, all eyes gradually drifted toward a figure calmly walking down the sidewalk. A figure walking calmly down the sidewalk toward the corner, whistling washing on the Siegfried line.
"Howdy, everyone," greeted Asgore affably. "All up bright and early to attend the mayoral debate, I see."
Receiving no reply, he continued his stroll through the mob, and directly past Mayor Holiday, who stood with three limbs crossed amid the wreckage of Sans' store. "What?" she asked with barely contained venom. "Was that?"
I see you all met my campaign manager,"
Asgore stated, as if that explained everything.
"Well, do any of you feel more confident in my platform already? He's quite the wizard, this."
He chuckled. He quickly plodded his way out of sight, heading towards City Hall. From somewhere inside the gaping hole in the store, Sans could be heard musing.
"Huh, I've been meaning to get a drive-thru installed."
Tea sip. "Yes, chat, this was your idea. You did make this." The people of Hometown are startled by the noise, but they have daily traffic jams. Spamton's speaker system was at the volume of a jet engine. It was like breaking windows. It was illegally loud. It was powered by the car's drive shaft, like that one Mythbusters episode. The previous night, Asgore crouched, trembling, behind his overturned fridge, a steady stream of pickle juice trickling from the open door. The swarm of buzzing, long-nosed pixies was still churning over the remains of the toaster, having burst from its every orifice amid a pillar of suffocating black smoke several minutes prior. Asgore had no idea what the creatures were, but had the overwhelming instinctive sense that they would bite exposed flesh and or wallets, and so he dive-rolled behind his fridge in hopes of escaping their notice. Now, though, it seems the movements of the swarm were slowing. Gradually, from its center, he could make out the Umriss, footnote 1. Translator's note, Umriss is German for outline. Of a solid shape coalescing from the chaos. Without warning, a booming voice issued from the mass. "Press F1 to help! Oh God, please help!" The message repeated every 4 seconds at gradually increasing volume. Not knowing what else to do, Asgore crawled through the double doors to his back room. He clambered to his feet and began to scrounge through the piles of dusty boxes for his old Commodore keyboard, a remnant of his long broken store computer. Ducking his head under the hanging pair of ice skates he couldn't remember buying, and skirting carefully around the piles of dust from Asriel's dead body, his hand at last brushed against the creaky plastic keys, and he sprinted back toward the site of the ritual with the peripheral in tow. The plea to press F1 was now looping several times per second at jet engine frequencies. Clutching his ears, Asgore desperately depressed the F1 key. With a clap of thunder that shook spiders from the rafters, the swarm shrank to a point like a collapsing star, and from the singularity appeared a pudgy human in a white turtleneck sweater and black vest. He fell several feet to the ground, landing on his amply sized ass cheeks and shaking the remaining spiders from the roof. Chat's, hung up on something. I don't know what it could possibly be. There was a secondary thud as a purple spider monster in lace pantaloons impacted the floor and scuttled downstairs before Michelle Tchaikovsky's contract lawyers could notice her presence. The human, still sitting on the floor, swiveled his half-yard nose to and fro, surveying his surroundings. After a moment, he turned to face Asgore, nose vibrating like a doorstop from the sudden deceleration. "Damn, bitch, you live like this?" He seemed to levitate to his feet. "Hochi daddy, these are some sweet digs." Thence filling the room with a screeching noise resembling laughter. Shoutouts to thence being a word, definitely. His nose drifts downward, carrying with it the rest of his face, to point at Asgore's knee, which had been scraped during his prior dive roll away from the toaster. "Picked up a complimentary boo-boo from my reincarnation. No problemo!" He leans in closer, 0.5 meter nose stabbing into the gash and causing Asgore to fall to his knees in pain, thus brought down to the man's eye level, and with his nose resting clammily, I guess that's a word, against his cheek, Asgore observed that his face was caked in a crayon-thick layer of white foundation that was already beginning to flake off his increasingly sweaty skin. I'm gonna change this. This has never made any sense. Icing thick. There we go. It was already beginning to flake off his increasingly sweaty skin, seemingly exposing yet more foundation underneath. His breath smelled like seawater. Without elaboration, the man produced a blue egg and pushed it slowly into Asgore's passively gaping mouth. The taste was, Asgore regained consciousness. The scrape on his knee had indeed been healed. The man was looming over him like a vulture. He jutted out a hand. "Spamton X Spamton," he announced. Number one, rated milkman, 1996. He looked briefly uncertain. "I mean campaign manager." Asgore blinked groggily and limply grasped Spamton's hand, trying to ignore the fact that his mouth tasted like blood, despite having no blood in his body and having no reason to know what it would taste like.
Howdy. So good to finally meet you," he croaked. "My name is..."
"Mr. Creamer!" Spamton shouted. "Our mysterious benefactor told me all about you. Don't worry about one thing, you big Nubian dilf. When I'm run through with you, you'll be the biggest big shot in this Sukabliat town's ever seen." I don't know how to pronounce that. Asgore nodded vacantly.
That sounds quite nice, I suppose, but, about the,
"I just gotta ask one thing," Spamton cut him off. "Why do you do it? What kind of palm grease does it take to get a marketable plushie like you into politics?" Spamton's face lit up, suddenly regaining a foothold on the proceedings.
Well, it's really quite simple. The nice man on the phone yesterday explained that if I only were to become mayor, I could designate my flower shop as a heritage property and appoint myself its publicly funded caretaker. That way I wouldn't have to worry about selling the flowers to pay rent, and could just give them out to the community whenever I wanted. His expression darkened somewhat. And I could also maybe afford to eat again. "I like a man with ambition, Mr. Dad Guy. You've got guts, just like all mammalian life." Yes.
Asgore chuckled nervously. "You're loving the Spamton? That's great. A lot of the brackets were crowdsourced." Was that the Asgore? Yeah. Oh, this time and only this time it will be spelled Asgore. Asgore chuckled nervously, struggling to rise from his back to a more dignified position from which to conduct political dealings.
"Well, Mr. Spamton, I am excited to work with you. We should make an excellent team. You can be the brains and I can be the, mayor. For my platform, I was considering a focus on community togetherness and philanthropy. The school has been too underfunded of late to even buy enough chalk. I was thinking a significant diversion of funds into..."
"Holy heaven, that's boring," Spamton screamed. "Shut your ass up, mutton chops. While I'm your agent, your soapbox is whatever I say it is." Asgore tried to hide the hurt expression creeping over his face.
Well, what might that be then?"
"Let me check," Spamton says, already scuttling downstairs and out the door. "Just sit tight and hold on to your dignity." Scene change. "Maybe chat being involved was a good idea." This turned out funny. "Maybe it was a good idea," says Mel, 2 streams in. That's kind of the point, yeah. I wouldn't just spend the time to sit here and write crack fiction if I didn't have this whole gimmick. That's sort of what makes it fun. I just see Materia Collective cringe in chat. That's very funny. I don't know what that's in reference to, but I want to include Spamton referencing the Materia Collective in the fic. I think that'd be funny. Maybe that's one of the sponsorships that Asgore gets, along with Sans' store, established titles, and the Materia Collective. A large monster carrying a poster board elbowed his way through the doors to City Hall. The desk clerk gave him a completely nonplussed twitch of the finger, and Asgore offered his most jovial smile in return, as he shuffled toward the meeting hall. He jaunted down the length of the hallway and pushed his way through the doors. He should be the first to arrive this morning, which left plenty of time to set up and collect his...
Hey,
Sans was there, sitting with eerie stillness behind one of the three extra cheap folding tables arranged at the front of the room. The cord of a lapel mic trailed across the stage and terminated on his hoodie, despite the fact that a wireless PA system had been installed in the room last month. Asgore jumped, but recovered quickly.
Howdy there, Sams. You are rather early, are you not? Don't worry, I'll give you a full refund. Yes, Asgore paced toward the stage. So...
He uncharacteristically struggled to make conversation. Something about this janitor always managed to throw him off kilter.
How has this whole campaigning thing been treating you? I know for myself it has been quite the adjustment. Maybe it's a little strange, but sometimes it's nice to have someone call you out for being lazy. I suppose you are right about that,
Asgore mused, while fumbling with his own lapel mic.
Back in my college days, I admit I was a bit of a slacker myself. I never dreamed I could have made it as far as Chief of Police, let alone Mayor. But I suppose Toriel has a way of bringing out the best in...
He trailed off.
Someone who sincerely likes bad jokes has an integrity you can't say no to.
I'm struggling with the Sans voice now. Which is bad timing for this fucking scene. Sans sounds natural while Asgore is a robot. That's ironic. Asgore chuckled at that despite himself.
Toriel and I had so many things in common, but I'm afraid to say our sense of humor was not one of them. It was something I never appreciated about her enough. More for me.
Asgore bit his tongue, unsure how to respond to that. He instead busied himself for a time, persuading his poster board to stand up on the table. Eventually, he turned back to the skeleton, unable to contain the question at the tip of his tongue.
So, you and Toriel, you have been spending a lot of time together of late, have you not?
Weird, huh?
Yes, you could say that, Asgore muttered, brows furrowing. I suppose what I mean to say is, I was wondering if you two had, you know...
His throat begins to tighten with the mounting horror at the words coming out of his mouth. He tried to think of some way to recontextualize his meaning, but...
Wow, that's really, childish.
Asgore winced and felt blood rise in his cheeks. Now he'd done it. He was once again hopelessly trapped in the machinations of his own choices. All he could hope for now was that the crowd would start filing in soon.
What's the holdup? Look, there's nothing to be afraid of.
Sans paused, and Asgore looked sheepishly over.
I'll be frank with you. It's time you learned the truth.
What truth? Asgore pressed, voice growing darker despite his best efforts.
I'm practically a hot dog tycoon now.
Asgore's grip on the table tightened.
I've decided it's not going to be your turn, ever. I'm just going to keep having my turn until you give up.
The skeleton's face remained as impassive as ever, not even turning to make eye contact with his rival.
Take it from me, kid. Someday, you've got to learn when to quit. I would very much prefer it,
Asgore said slowly, icy rage permeating every syllable.
If a good-for-nothing dopehead like yourself would stop calling me kid.
He flipped the table, words echoing around the auditorium. Even then, Sans didn't move. After what felt like an eternity, he responded.
Here comes the grub.
Asgore stood frozen in place, hands still clenched from throwing the table. He heard the tendons in his neck creak as he turned to face the skeleton in total confusion.
Here comes the grub. I just baked 1,000 pies. Do you want any? Make sure to brush your teeth before crossing the street, Frisk. As much as I like putting hot dogs on your head.
At this moment, Sans walked through the door in the back of the room.
Here comes the grub.
So, if anyone just joined the stream and wasn't present for writing that, the bit here is that Sans put a cardboard cutout with like just like pre-recorded lines from Undertale, And that's been conversing with Asgore the whole time. He just left a dummy here so he wouldn't have to attend the conference. Here comes the grub. How long is this compared to Umris? I think Umris was 12k words, this is 5k. So we're approaching half an Umris. By the time it concludes, it might be a full Umris in length. But that's the end of the stream so far. That was just the final read-through, and we're gonna finish off the scene next time. And continue with the antics. I've got a big surprise plan for the rest of this scene. Trust me, I'm sort of sad I didn't get to do it this stream. But it's been going on for too long. We've survived a fucking power outage that cut the stream in half. Yeah, fan art time. Let's go. Let's do some fan art. Let's see what we got. We already had a song donated, by the way. Which is very good. But we heard that at the start of the stream. Okay, I have to figure out which ones... Is that another song? From Dip? He's turned it into like an old American march? Yeah. That's wonderful. We have so many contenders for stream theme songs now, goddamn. Okay, I have to pick out which ones are supposed to be stream fan art here, and which are just... Oh shit, Mook's colored in that, the big poster. But it's still work in progress, apparently. That looks amazing, though. Although I'll specify, as I did last time, that this is not the canonical appearance of Mayor Holiday. This is an interpretation by Mooks here. Mayor Holiday could not be drawn, I think, the current appearance in the fic. It would be impossible. But that's an incredibly good drawings in all three of their parts there. The expressions are great. The coloring is looking bueno since last time. Oh, here's Outsin's shit. Actually, did I forget to show off Outsin's fan art? Because Outsin did fan art since last stream. So I'm actually going to start off with the old fan art, because I forgot to show that at the start. Shit. Hang on. This was like fucking hilarious. I laughed my ass off at this, as I usually do with Outsin's fan art. Here we go. This is like a collage from last stream. So we have the Spamton toaster, Toriel drinking whipped cream, and a pose that... I don't know what this pose reminds me of. It's like the fucking moving away from the mic to breathe pose or something. It's really good. I can't quite articulate why it strikes me so much, though. With her copy of the Power Broker, yet another interpretation of Mayor Holiday looking like fucking Professor McGonagall or something. She looks like she would speak in a Scottish accent somehow from the way she's depicted here. Dreamer, what are you doing? She looks like Thatcher. Oh, is that it? Maybe that's it. I'm channeling the Thatcher energy. Wonderful. Okay, see, that went over my head. And then Asgore in his campaign wagon, although it wasn't actually Spamton driving it, it turned out, but I did retcon the fic to match the description of it being Asgore's pickup truck instead of the U-Haul van. It's a Big Shot brand toaster, yeah. So that's a fantastic piece of art there, but Outsin has done even more since last time, though, which is exciting. We have Spamton like a Spamton now.
You call that a blazer? What are those shoes? Is that a ponytail? What are you, a dirty commie? Absolutely no ties.
I'm assuming this is referencing one of the 25 political thriller shows that Outsin watches on a daily basis. Political thriller and or comedy. The fucking Undyne with her Bobby nightstick leaning out the window, and Mayor Holiday just being carted around. I like the energy where Mayor Holiday is like some sort of supervillain and Undyne's like her lackey, just driving her around. Spamton's making the getaway.
Vote Asgore.
Wow. Oh, there's the egg. By the way, Peepus reference sheet for your Peepus Sona. You can commission Outson for your Peepus Sona here. He charges $69 per go, I believe, was his going rate. Or sorry, Outson is in chat and specifying it's actually 690. That's that. I thought it was a bit low, actually. That makes more sense.
Mrs. Holiday, get down!
Yeah. That's fantastic. Veritas did not know people were putting effort in the stream fan art. Where have you been, Veritas? It's effort city out here. We have like the most talented artists on the planet just doing this shit for no reason. It's really cool. There's yet more. Oh yeah, okay, Veritas has their own artwork. I fixed the date on the art for artistic integrity. Sans 2016. Here comes the grub. That fucking line is gonna haunt me. I could barely write that scene because chat kept spamming "Where's the grub?" and it was preemptively cracking me up. Just like, I don't know why that line is so funny. It just is. Here comes the grub. It's maybe it reminded me of "Here Comes the Big Man" from Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff. Maybe it's those kind of long distance connections that crack me up. This is just like a T-posing mannequin of Sans playing back quotes from Undertale.
Which may or may not be a meta commentary on the state of Undertale fanfiction.
Actually, it's not. It means nothing.
And then the big man comes.
Yeah.
It's grubbing time.
Thanks for that, Veritas. That's excellent. Another one, a fresh one from Mooks.
Halloween for traffic lights. Just say no to opium, Asgore. Here comes the grub.
Sans is like face down. He's fallen as the mannequin has fallen over and it's just face planted like a corpse. Still emitting lines though. That's fucking amazing, Mooks. I love it. I love it. Okay, that's the end of the fan art. Unless this Omegle meme is somehow supposed to be stream fan art. I don't think it is, though. Oh my god, that's fucking funny. We have to make a Boru for the stream? What is a Boru, other than a thing that, like, they have for Vine Sauce art?
A vote for grub is a vote for freedom.
It's more like,
a vote for hot dogs is a vote for grub.
it's like an image database, yeah, okay. He used a cassette player to record what he says and then plays it in the mic because he's too short. No, he just didn't want to show up to the conference. Like, he's gonna like, sort of show up to check in on things and then, like, kind of leave again because his mannequin is working so well. He's gonna hang out at the buffet table and, like, eat cream puffs. Or the little, like, the shitty coffee that comes out of the big cooler into a paper cup. He's gonna just be drinking that in the back. You can make a Google Drive folder? Would that work? I mean, the Discord server works well enough. The vote for apostrophe dog. Okay, that's it for now. That's an exhausting stream, but a very fun stream. That was the scenes are getting harder to write, more complex. I struggled a bit, I admit. But once you got into the groove, it all started flowing. Like, you just have to stumble on the right bit and then it all works out. Can I do Saturday again next week? I don't really want to. Like, Sunday's been my thing forever, and this was just an exception because I have something I have to do tomorrow that would conflict with it. So I don't see any reason to change it unless there's some dire need. it might be better to do Saturday after all. Like, I originally did Sunday because I worked on Saturdays, then my schedule changed, and currently I'm in the process of actually quitting my day job because RAM is blowing up so much, and I need to work on that full-time now. So, needless to say, it's not going to be a scheduling conflict, but it would just, you know, Saturday's been my free day for a while. But, I mean, if it helps people with later time zones, I could maybe go to Saturday. We could talk that, maybe I'll do a poll or something. Because people can stay up later. Andrew stocks on the rise, yeah, they really are. Hard to argue with 200k views on a devlog. I wasn't expecting that, gotta say, but that's wandering off topic. Yes, half my audience is Australian, apparently. They're all from Australia and Argentina. The country just has to start with A, like Armenians too, everywhere. Okay, that's enough rambling though. I'll see y'all next time, by which I mean I'll see you all next time. Because I'm not from Southern America, I don't know why I said that. And yes, thanks for coming, thanks for the suggestions, very fun stream, and goodbye for now.
A vote for the barrier is a vote for freedom.